As well was something about female beauty and appearance that seemed to come across through all three characters. So that idea at adolescence about the fact that you hate the way you look and other girls can be really vile to you, well, and boys as well can be really vile to you. And then you talk about in the film, which we'll talk about in a minute, which is Ponti, which is the film that forms a sort of central thread.
Yeah.
And you talk about the fact that she's this deformed character who then becomes beautiful and a literal sort of man-eater. And I was interested in why you decided to that, or why that came out, this idea about female beauty.
Well, I think like ever since I was a child, I grew up, as most kids do, I grew up reading a gigantic compendium of, you know, all the Grimm's fairy tales, and also like fairy tales originating from other parts of the world. You know, like 1001 Nights, you know, Arabian Nights, stories from China, like Chinese mythology. I remember watching Beauty and the Beast, you know, one of my favorite, I think like the top 3 Disney films ever. And that was a very, very kind of impactful visual experience for me, because it struck me how important kind of, you know, aesthetics and a kind of certain level of superficiality always extended in particular to the female form. And how the protagonists, the woman who was centered in these stories, always had to be beautiful. Or if they weren't, they were always on a journey toward achieving that level of beauty, and they would do anything. You know, they would kind of pay a funny little man, like, you know, if they had like bread or whatever in a forest. You know, they would follow a weird little lady, you know, into a hut, which is really ill-advised. You know, swap their best dress, you know, put it in a walnut, all kinds of things for beauty.
Yeah.
So I think we live in a deeply image-obsessed world, and that has only increased with Instagram and social media. And that's something that I think most writers have kind of territories that they're fascinated by. I'm very, very fascinated by like artifice and superficiality, and the fact that what you see, like our body embodiment, is literally just the tip of the iceberg. It is like only 3% of like someone's kind of consciousness and their being. But you know, you're judged on that. And I think that is fascinating and heartbreaking, and also part of human nature, like how we decide. You know, you decide in social interactions within like half a second. That sucks.
You're coming to Manchester Festival.
Yes, I'm really excited. I love Manchester.
Yay! And you're appearing with Nikesh Shukla and Gunaratne.
Yes,
they're
wonderful.
Well, glad to hear it.
I've done events with both of them. They're both incredibly generous, and I love their work. So
yeah, I was going to
so good.
Is there anything in particular that interests you about the work they're doing at the minute?
Well, I think both of them are kind of like daring and innovative in their own ways, and they're both very kind of voice driven.
Yeah.
Nikesh has a lot of humor and sharpness to his stories. He's very good at multi. Actually, they're both very good at multi-voice, but they come at it from different angles. I would say. Obviously, in Our Man of Furious City, incredible book. Like I've never read anything like it. I thought it was wonderful. It's the only novel I've read with kind of a rap battle.
Yes.
Kind of on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
And Nikesh's as well is kind of like sweeping, sort of panoramic story that takes into account a lot of sort of microaggressions and, you know, experiences which you really don't see depicted enough in fiction, and handled in such a kind of sensitive, nuanced, kind way. I think that I really, really respect novelists who are they're compassionate to their characters, and I just prefer that so much more than books that just try and be clever for the sake of cleverness. You can kind of tell when writers are holding the reader at a distance and they're being like, look how great I am. I think like Nikesh and Guy really don't do that. They kind of draw the reader close, and they kind of draw them toward an empathetic, sort of compassionate understanding of the characters. Yeah, they're really great at like a sense of place, and yeah.
Yeah, I think there's some really interesting links between the 3 books. I'm really looking forward to the event because I think it'll be really interesting. I don't want to talk too much about it because obviously you should come to the event.
Hi, I'm Sharlene Teo, author of Ponti. Come see me at the Manchester Literary Festival, 16th of October at 7 p.m.